You're watching WDEF News 12 this morning with Rachel Ash, meteorologist Brian Smith, and your time-saver traffic tracker with Sunny 92.3's James Howard.
And welcome back to WDEF News 12 this morning. It's Friday. It's time for How Does Your Garden Grow? If you got a question about your garden, about your lawn, feel free to give us a call, 756-1212. That number again is 756-1212. Tim Holcomb joining us from the Holcomb Garden Center, as he is here to help you out. And we appreciate you stopping by, helping us out.
It's good to be here.
Already have several callers on the line. We'll put you to work right away.
Good deal.
All right. Diane is our first caller. Good morning to you, Diane.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question about poinsettias.
Okay, if they can turn the volume up just a little bit.
I have 2 poinsettias.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have had them outside all summer. And I needed to find out what I need to do to bring them in and what kind of plant food I would use to put on them.
Okay, normally starting the 1st of September, you need to make sure they have 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. Any good liquid plant food would do a good job to keep them healthy and growing, but what you're trying to do is stimulate the flowers, and that's triggered by the light conditions. So just make sure they get 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark each day, and they should bloom for you for Christmas.
John joining us now on the phone lines. Good morning to you, John.
Yes, I've got a question. I've got to move some boxwoods that are 5 and 6 foot in diameter, and I was wondering, and a couple of azaleas too, away from the house.
Yes, sir.
And is it safe to do that now?
Not yet. They're actively growing now. Matter of fact, this is one of the best times of year for them to grow. It's best to move them when they're dormant, usually from the end of November through February. And it's also best if you'll trim back about a third of the top. You're trying to balance the roots in the top and water them good with root stimulator, and they should move very successfully.
Sylvia is our next phone caller. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Tim, I have a question for you. I have an Encore azalea that I've had for about, 2 or 3 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not really blooming out like it should. Usually it's just loaded with blooms. I had a few this spring, and I've got a few starting this fall. What can I do to bring that back?
Well, certainly they need food. If you'll start 1st of February feeding those, or as soon as they finish blooming in the spring, start feeding them, and feed them about every 4 to 6 weeks with a good azalea food. This year it was critical to have food and water, but they will bloom very well if they're well fed. It also adds some middle number, which is phosphorus, like a 045-0, will encourage even more blooms.
Linda joining us now on the phone lines. Good morning to you, Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Hi, doing good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm wanting to know when to bring my Christmas cactuses and my Thanksgiving cactuses and all this in.
Okay, you probably need to do it real soon. They prefer to be 40 and above, and Brian keeps telling us we may dabble near that real soon. So as soon as you get a chance, go ahead and bring those in. Be sure and water them less when you bring them in, because they do take less water, and the tendency is to overwater things when you first bring them in.
Virginia is our next phone caller. Good morning to you.
Yes, I want to transplant my irises to a sunnier spot.
Yes,
Which
ma'am.
would be the best time?
Well, you can transplant irises anytime. They're very tough. The key to irises is when you replant them, make sure you don't plant them too deep. They like to actually grow right on the surface of the ground. But you can dig those up, trim back any damaged leaves or dead blooms at this time, and transplant them right away. You'll be fine.
Diane joining us now. Good morning to you, Diane.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
My question is, how do I keep my mums blooming? I mean, I've got some out, and I'd love to have them continue to bloom, but and then also on a tame honeysuckle, the little berries. If I planted those, would that help me grow another one?
Well, that is the seed on the honeysuckle. The berries do develop seed, and many times will come up from that. You can also take a branch from that honeysuckle and lay it down on the ground with some dirt on top of it. It'll start rooting, and then you can cut that free and replant it somewhere else. As far as keeping mums blooming, they normally bloom 3 to 6 weeks depending on the weather. The key to it is, as blooms fade, pinch those off, keep it well fed and watered, and it will continue to put out buds and blooms right up till cold weather.
Virginia joining us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
I have a rhododendron.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm holding.
No, how about the rhododendron?
Okay. It looked like it's dying now, and I just wanted to know what I needed to do.
Well, if it looks like it's dying, there's obviously something there it don't like. Key number one is make sure it has enough water, and second, make sure it's not too wet. If it's on irrigation, sometimes they can be too wet. But if it's dying, bring in a branch. Let's look for insects or disease and see what may be the problem there.
So great questions coming in this morning, but unfortunately we are running out of time. And speaking of mums, we've got a beautiful collection of mums here on our table, as well as pansies, and it's perfect time of the year to pick up those. And what a great weekend to stop by the Holcomb Garden Center. You got two locations, one on Highway 153 in Hickson, as well as down in Fort Oglethorpe, right along Battlefield Parkway. Trust me, they're big places. You can't miss them. The easiest way to find out plenty of information is to go online to holcombgc.com. Again, holcombgc.com. Stop by this weekend. Perfect weather for some planting.
It's a great time to be out.
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. We've got a lot more to come here on WDEF News 12 this morning.